Today's topic is Class 10 Life Process, Stomata, and Opening and Closing of Stomata. We have been studying the topic of stomata since Class 6. So let's write the definition of stomata first. These are the tiny pores present on leaves. Next, before going to the functions of stomata, let's write the functions of the different parts of stomata. See this figure beside. It has been marked. It consists of guard cells. Now these two are the guard cells. The stomatal pore, also called as stoma or stomata. These are chloroplast region, and these chloroplast contains within it the green pigment which are called as chlorophyll. Now there are different types of cells beside guard cells, and these cells are known as subsidiary cells. These subsidiary cells, as you can see in the diagram, they are surrounding the guard cells. Now these subsidiary cells are surrounding the guard cells. So now let's look on the function of each and every part of stomata. Let me tell you the function of stomata first, or stomatal pore. Its main function is it helps in exchange of gases. Carbon dioxide and oxygen. Second, it helps to remove excess water from the plant body in the form of water vapor. And we know what is this process known as? This process is known as transpiration. So it helps in the process of transpiration. Then let's look on the function of guard cells. When we talk about guard cells, it plays an important role. Its main role is in opening and closing of stomata. So let's write the main important role of guard cell. It helps in opening and closing of stomata. Beside this, it also helps to protect the stomatal pore. Then we have done the function of guard cell. We have done the function of stomata. Let's move to chloroplast and chlorophyll. Next is your chloroplast. We have done in the last video about chloroplast very deeply. So we can say chloroplast is that region where photosynthesis takes place because it contains the green pigment chlorophyll which absorbs the sunlight. So we can say the region where photosynthesis takes place. It contains chlorophyll, which absorbs sunlight. If you look at the diagram, we can clearly see that guard cells are those areas where these chloroplasts are present. So guard cells function, you can also mention it contains chloroplast, which plays an active role in photosynthesis. Next comes subsidiary cells. Now let me first tell you, subsidiary cells plays the major role in protecting the epidermal cells. Now, if I draw a rough diagram of guard cell, surrounding the guard cell is the subsidiary cells, and beside surrounding the subsidiary cells is the epidermal cells. Now, epidermal cells are the top layers of the plant structure. Now, these epidermal cells are protected by the help of subsidiary cells when the guard cell swells or when water enters the guard cell. So let's write the function of subsidiary cells. In subsidiary cells, actually these are also known as accessory cells. Now these surrounds and supports the guard cell. It also protects the epidermal cells Okay. Now, subsidiary cells, whatever is the function of guard cells, they assist the guard cell. Now, these subsidiary cells, they assist and they support and they uh, do whatever the guard cells is doing, and they protects the epidermal tissues also when the guard cell swells. Now, these are the functions of the different parts of stomata. Next, look on the opening and closing of stomata, where the guard cell plays the major role. Now, when we see the opening and closing of stomata, actually stomata opens and closes as a result of spatial diffusion process, which you have done in class 9. That spatial diffusion process occurring in plants or cells are called as osmosis. So here the water enters and exits from the cell by the process of osmosis. So let's look on the topic of opening and closing of stomata. So when the stomata opens, it means when there is excess water in the plant body, or during daytime when the plant need to do photosynthesis. At that time, the stomata opens. So when the stomata opens, that means that there is sufficient amount of water in the plant body. Now I'll write it out. When there is sufficient amount of water in the plant body, the water moves from the subsidiary cells to the guard cells. As a result, the guard cell swells. Now see, if I draw a rough diagram, when water enters the guard cell obviously it will swell up, and that swelling condition is called as turgid. Now this, when the guard cell swells, this condition is known as turgid condition. Now this condition leads to the opening of stomata. So always keep in mind, when water enters the guard cell, it becomes turgid, and this results in opening of stomata. And the reverse, when water moves out from the guard cell, when the water moves out from the guard cell, the guard cell shrinks. The guard cell shrinks, and this condition is also known as flaccid condition. And this results in closing of stomata. Now let's write closing of stomata when there is water shortage. Obviously, plant does not want to remove water when there is less water in that area, and this persists in dry conditions. So in dry condition areas, the plants, they always try to keep their stomata closed so that they do not lose the water present in their body. When there is water shortage in the plant body, water moves out from the guard cell. Now, when water moves out from the guard cell, where do they go? Into the subsidiary cells. And as a result, the guard cell shrinks. And this condition of shrinkage of guard cell is known as flaccid condition, which leads to closing of stomata. So we have clearly seen that whether it's stomata opening or closing, the guard cell is playing a pivotal role here. Now, these guard cells not only allow like this water to enter and exit, but actually opening and closing of stomata also depends on many other factors. Like they depend on the plant hormones, they depend upon the environmental conditions, they depend upon the light, they depend upon the potassium ion intake and out release. So this is the topic of stomata we have done. Another topic will be done in the next class or next video, that is heterotrophic nutrition.